everyone, welcome back. And yeah, I'm pleased to be this time with my good friend, the Jolly Reiver.
Hello, the Wessex Rumoured is hosting me in Somerset, so this is my first taste of a very beautiful county.
Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it so far. Yeah, and we're in the very rural village of Chiltern Cantello. This village is completely out of the way. We had to dodge floods to get here. It was quite a task. So why are we here? There's been a lot of myth and legend about a Somerset screaming skull. Now, a screaming skull is basically like sort of like a Victorian phenomenon. It was placed in people's houses or sort of cast away evil spirits and, you know, just sort of protect the family, I guess, that within the household. There are a few dotted around the UK. There's said to be one in Dorset, one in Yorkshire, one in Cumbria. And yes, it turns out there could be one in Somerset. Obviously, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of this sort of subject, a big fan of ossuaries and then macabre in general, so I've always been fascinated by the story. So here we are today to try and investigate further this screaming skull, who it was, and does the screaming skull actually exist? So first of all, let me tell you about who did this skull even belong to in the first place.
The skull is said to be the head of someone called Theophilus Broome. Theophilus is said to have fought in the English Civil War on the Republican side back in 1642. Being originally from Warwickshire, sometime during or after the war, he moved to Somerset, to this rural village of Chiltern Cantello, into this farmhouse that was owned by his sister, that is right next to St James's Church. Some sources suggest he was wounded in battle and fled to his sister in Chiltern Cantello, whereas others say he fled his hometown due to the civil unrest and permanently moved in with his sister. Towards the end of his life, he requested for his head to be separate from his body before burial and for his skull to be stored safe and hidden in the farmhouse. His reasons were because he was shocked and disgusted to hear that during the restoration of the monarchy in 1660, Oliver Cromwell had his body exhumed and had his head on display outside Westminster Hall for several years, along with several others that were responsible for the death of Charles I. He didn't want the same to happen to him, so in the fear of this happening, he made a request before his death in 1670 and had his headless body buried in the crypt of the church, and his skull is said to remain in the farmhouse to this day.
So, that's a bit about Theophilus Broome. Did I pronounce that right?
No, Theophilus.
Oh, I can't get that name right. It's a difficult name.
I've done 10 takes on this. You can't get it.
Can't get it. So, his body, minus his head, is in the crypt of this church. Unfortunately, we can't go in because I've, as you know from my last video, the luck I've been having lately, it's locked. That's all right. We know it's there. So
we know that the body is in the church.
Yes.
We know it doesn't have a head.
Yes.
But history and folklore often gets mixed up. So is the head real? And if so,
exactly,
whereabouts is it?
Exactly, and this is the next question. There's been a lot of myth. There's been a lot of rumours about the skull being in the farmhouse right opposite this church. So there's only one way for us to find out. So let's go investigate. And we can confirm the screaming skull of Somerset does exist. So, personally, I feel over the moon to have seen that and witnessed that and to confirm that it's real. And you may be wondering, well, show us. Well, I'm afraid not. Because you see, this skull is in fact on someone's private property. It's literally their family home. We very politely asked if we could have a look, and they let us in and we had a look.
Yeah.
However, there has been cases when people have been posting pictures of that skull online and they absolutely resent that. It's very disrespectful for their privacy, and it is, like I said, it is their personal family home. The people don't ask permission, so any images you see, whether it's on YouTube or any sort of Instagram or anything like that, it's been done without permission, and obviously I think that's incredibly rude, incredibly disrespectful. So there would absolutely no images of the skull from me. You can find images in some books, perhaps, but you won't get any from me, I'm afraid. But we can confirm it is real.
So when they opened the door, very kind people, but you could tell there was a bit of frustration that people have called before to see the skull, and they feel, the owners of the house, they feel quite let down because the people who have asked to see it have secretly filmed it or secretly taken pictures without their permission and then put it online. And they were quite adamant that they don't want that because it is a skull of a real person that did exist. That person, you know, it's not good to plaster this all over the internet. Some things just should be kept private. You know, I wouldn't like it if my ancestors, you wouldn't like it if your ancestors were plastered all over the internet. There is an element of disrespect there, but they were more than happy to show us it once they realised this. No, we're not going to put this on social media.
That's right, because we weren't there for self-indulgent reasons. We were there because we have a legitimate fascination with this. So, yeah, it's. I feel glad that I finally have ticked this off the list. So,
what was interesting is when they opened the door and we asked to see the screaming skull, the lady of the house, she insisted that it wasn't screaming, and so did the gentleman as well.
Yes.
It's not a screaming skull because in their lifetime it hasn't screamed. The screaming is part of the folklore.
Yeah.
So they insisted it wasn't screaming, but they didn't deny that there was strange activity over the years about them.
Yes.
So there was the gentleman whose trousers caught fire after seeing the screaming skull. And there's a number of other cases as well of people who see the skull and then unfortunate things happen to them afterwards.
So wish us luck driving home.
Yes.
So yeah, the point we're trying to make here, guys, if you do wish to see the skull, I advise ringing or writing a letter or sending in an email ahead of your planned trip. They really didn't like unexpected guests. Again, you know, if they're a family, they got their family business. You know, they could just be relaxing, watching telly, or they could be in the middle of a family meal, and someone knocks on their door, say a stranger saying, "Can I come in?" I wouldn't, would you?
No.
Exactly. So please be respectful. Right, that brings us to the end of the video, guys. Right, thank you all for watching. It's been amazing to be here again, and because I did actually come here a couple of years ago to attempt to see the skull, and no dice. So the fact that I've done it now, yeah, massive box ticked. And as I stressed throughout the video, always ask permission to see these things. Always ask permission to make pictures, videos. Always ask permission to upload them online. Leave things how you found them as well. Okay, got to be respectful for these things for people. Okay, these are special places, these are personal places, and you know, not just something you can just flaunt online just for all those dopamine hits or whatever. So it's been great having a Jolly Reiver with me. We've got some more videos coming up, so be sure to check out this channel in case you haven't. I mean, this guy shouldn't need much of an introduction, but give him a sub if you haven't already, and yeah, he's got some exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, let's go and explore the rest of Somerset.
Yes, we've barely scratched the surface, so yeah, we've got a lot of travelling to do. So yeah, cheers guys, and thank you to all my patrons. Here they are. Thank you guys, love you all. Yeah, be sure to subscribe if you're new here, and catch you at the next one. Thank you. Stop that.
I hate when that happens.
Right, let's try again. Right. 3, 2, 1. What the f? It's probably wedged.
Is there another way in?
Yeah. There we go, right.
There we go.
And here we are in a very, very rural village called... Right, start again.